sit down, hurry, hurry. Sit down.
Shakti's book, sir.
Whose? Whose? Shakti?
Yes, sir.
You are better than me. I told you once, you never believed me. Shakti Parvakar Khalsa. I have to talk to you only today. I have three subjects: financial, personal, matter of first faith, identity, individuality, and lineage. When I finish all that, nothing is left. What is the separate page, Shakti?
Those are the sadhana mantras, so people can take them out and copy them, use them, give them out. They're not copyrighted. The book is copyrighted, but the sadhana mantras are free.
What is copyrighted means nobody can copy it?
That's right.
They have already copied what I have taught all these years. In 1972, I said men are from different planet than this. And the people have written books on it. And they have full tally of my lectures than I have them. So, what to say? Somebody wrote a book on Kundalini Yoga. I saw it myself. I think I know the person. Well, we may not have done something great. One thing we did right. We have given people something which can make them live. Foot chart. This is the only foot chart where man has a turban on his head. We are funny. Congratulations. Give her a hand, folks. Well, she did a wonderful job. And when I saw her picture with me, I thought it's my son. He exactly looked like that. Well, thank God, somebody did something. Should I teach you like a teacher teaches a class, or should I just cross my time, have good time, say hello and go away? What do you want? Because normally you are gringos, very few Hispanics among you, and you don't have a tendency of tolerance. So it will take you a couple centuries to learn how to respect a teacher. And it will take a couple centuries to learn a teacher to respect a teacher in himself. You understand? It's a very painful opening sentence I have to start with. Teacher who does not have reached the ultimate success of self-respect and has any kind of doubt and undermines himself by thinking he is a human is not a teacher. He is a teacher apprentice. The oath you take as a teacher is, I'm not a woman, I'm not a man, I'm not a person, I'm not myself, I am teacher. If you understand the literary meaning of it, it's very different. Many times as a teacher I have decided things which are deadly against me. But I can afford the luxury of saying things which are not true. I have the right to say Fifth Amendment, I don't want to say it. But I don't have the right to mislead a student. And normally when a teacher wants to hold a student and wants to tell him he's beautiful, he's wonderful, he's marvelous, and tries to be a friend to a student, he loses a student. He doesn't gain a student. Because you must understand, one of the biggest dangers you run in your life is, today's student is your tomorrow's representative teacher. So if you do not teach a person today righteousness and righteousness within righteousness and standardization within standardization and a projection within projection, you have lost the game. I mean, normally you can be very proud, I have 16,000 teachers or 70,000 students or 100,000 ashram, and I have wealth, I have money, I am rich. All these prides are just for this earth. There's not a one pride in this as a teacher. Teacher is a useless, baseless debauch and a prostitute if he has not hired himself than an ordinary combat of life. You have to go elevated to be a teacher. Because teacher is a very big curse. Next lifetime you will get after teacher is a cockroach. It's a reserved life for you. When you meet a cockroach, just understand he was a teacher in one lifetime. You can't betray being a representative of light and show a person in darkness. So you can't talk anything personal in the sense which you know, you feel, it's your opinion. You can't do anything because you are not a person to begin with. You are not a female or a male as a teacher. You are a neutral gender. And you're not yourself because your self-interest cannot be served. Can you believe the tragedy of you that as a teacher somebody comes in faith, in trust, in admiration, in adoration and making you like a great person to know, and you can't guide him right or her right, whatever the case is? Do you have any idea? How horrible it is? Do you understand that you are a spiritual teacher and you do not know God shall give you what He wants to give you, you cannot earn it? Neither you can learn, nor you can earn, nor you can burn your grace. You have 3 no's. You can't earn because you shall be given. You can't learn because you belong to a chain of golden path. It is all set. It's a very funny question I am asked. Can we little have a deviation from what is there and make our own thing? You know what that tells me? This man is an idiot, he'll never be a teacher, forget it. Oh, okay, go ahead. You know, when you cannot get first class, second class is fine, third class is okay. In my life, if I do not know whether the eyes have to be closed or not, and Satsimran is a very bully, she said, what about eyes? Closed? I said, I never asked, I don't know. If they're closed, they're not, they're not. I'm sorry, I missed it. I missed it. I never asked my teacher. I didn't never ask him a thing. What I learned, and that's all I learned. That's all I want to share. And that's I care, I share. Because what I shared and what I learned is more than enough for me. Why you wanted more? It's very simple. And unfortunately, the teachings you have, I don't think anybody has it. Rather, you are overloaded with teachings. You have to learn just few things. One of the few things is don't be yourself when you deal with your student. Can you do that? The beauty of a teacher and the duty of a teacher is not being himself and herself. Because the moment you become not yourself, the pure channel of energy you become between you and God, there is no difference at that moment. Then you know what the problem is? That's not your problem, then God has to come himself to cover himself because God is a teacher too. And he won't let him fall. Teacher is a different thing. To be a leader is a different thing. To be a rich man is a different thing. It's different. It's totally, you can't understand teacher. Teacher is a qualified, classified selflessness. Absolutely. I'm not saying it's not a man or not a woman. You do everything man as a woman, but what you do as a man and a woman do not write down under the category of a teacher. You eat, as a man you eat, as a woman you eat. As a teacher you don't eat. Neither you breathe, nor you go pee and poop, nor you spit. No physical action, no mental action, and no spiritual action of yours is yours but that of a teacher. You are teacher when you go by the code, what you have been taught, and you stick with it. Then you are no karma, and then it is dharma, and then Almighty Creator shall create the environment to honor you, save you, protect you, and create a miracle to take you through. Do you understand what I'm saying? This philosophy is new or old? It's very old. Where there's ego, there's no amigo. You know, look at me, I've never been respected. I've never been loved. But I've been loved a lot. People think they respect me too much. Because when you are a teacher, you know everything. And you know everything, you know this person is an idiot, is a fool. And you make up your face and you say, yeah, you look so sweet, so beautiful, how are you? You know why you do that? It's called professional diplomacy and courtesy. You have to be utmost courteous normally. But whenever you get a student in the right angle, chisel him out. Leave nothing. Because that's the moment you get after a long time. When your very favorite student comes around, you become the harshest and damn mean. Because you mean everything. Otherwise, you are, hello, how are you? Good to see you after a long time. Very nice of you. That's not teacher's language, by the way. Teacher language, hey, come here. What time you got up this morning? What you did? How you did it? Do it now. Let me see it. You know what I'm saying? Show your nails. Let me see your shoes. We yet have not in the West created a relationship where a teacher can inspect his student exactly as a commanding officer inspects his troops. So what the fact is there is that in turn, when you will become teachers, you will not do the same. Because students are window shopping. They're not yet ready to accept that this soul, when came on the body is a vehicle, body is nothing more than a vehicle, is a rib cage. It has no value more than that. And the soul was given this rib cage with absolutely elements and distance and the environments and the time and the space and the pranic value that it will find its destination. Within that it was promised it will meet a teacher once for one moment. It was never promised to you that you'll meet him again, or it will be sure, and he can forgive you, she can forgive you, or you can do this, you can do that. That was never a promise. What is a teacher then? Teacher is a person who awakens in you, because you are a dormant you. If teacher is kind, compassionate, and comes in his full swing, normally teacher is a very good, diplomatic, wise, well-educated person who can cover you as a psychologist, psychiatrist, or counselor, and he knows scriptures and he's nice. Because I've met so many, I know where they stand. You know, there's a problem between a real teacher and a false teacher. A real teacher will never control his student. Never, ever. Control is a drag, is carrying a weight. What for? You will guide. You will never give somebody a fish, but you teach him fishing. And when a student starts going, oh, that's my teacher too, that's my teacher too, that's my teacher too, leave him alone. He wants to go north, south, east, west all at the same time. He will never make sense. When a student wants to satisfy his and her emotional satisfaction, be careful and be diplomatic. Be nice. If you are a real teacher, you know you are lying, you know the truth. But it is privilege to lie than to speak truth, to tell somebody and put somebody down. But somebody is just trying. He needs the help. She needs the help. They do not know the difference. Do you want to know the difference? There's no difference in a gourmet food and a poop. It's the same thing. It's simply passed through time. Can you swallow that? Huh? There's no difference between a soul and a soul. only it passed through the time, and that mark time is called teacher. And it's a privilege of very few. If you don't eat, you don't go to bathroom, nothing will come out of you. And what you eat, that comes out. Is that true? It's your natural. Take your body as a cylinder through which the things pass. Just understand that. When you eat, you think, oh my God, food was very tasty. When you go bathroom, you say, it was very easy, I cleared myself fine. That is the rhythm of that body. Is a multiple rhythm of that body's capacity. Similarly, a student is like food. He comes, he's chewed, he's digested, he's juiced out, and his nonsense is pooped out. And that body which does that to a person is a teacher. Do you understand that? But I don't think you have the capacity to do that right now in 1996. Because I have seen a lot of people, they come with a lot of love and they run away like you can't believe it. And a majority of the teachers, they study a couple of weeks and they want to just pretend they are the greatest teacher. Sometime you are before media, sometime you are before wealth, sometime you are before tons of students, sometime you are a lot of ashrams, sometime people hear you. Any value which is a value of this earth is just a value of earth. Anything which is a earth value has a price. What is a price is not a teacher. Whatever can be priced is not a teacher, because spirit cannot be priced and spiritual teacher can never be priced. If your sense of judgment of anything is which can be priced, you are not judging as correct. You are on a wrong angle. I'm going to leave you very soon. And I'm going to leave you just with the teachings, as I was left with the teachings. Neither I was a personality to begin with, not I am personality now, and nor I'll be personality later. Yes, I brought the teachings. And a truck brings the fruit. What's the difference? A pipe brings the water. Does the pipe says, I'm so good and great and kiss me first before you have a glass of water? Huh? That's your problem. When you deal with a student, just a carrier of knowledge and a giver of just a dutiful thing which is your job, and take away his garbage and give him essence and height and love, then you are a teacher. That's your duty. Whenever you add your personality to it, you ruin yourself and ruin the other person on the spot. Then it's good, bad, right, wrong, maybe. When I came in 60s, what I used to say, hey, you too, are you married? Not, no. Well, get married and go to such and such town and start teaching. The guy was only 3 days in my class. He couldn't even know my name. He said, oh, you are Yogi Bhan? I said, yeah, I'm Yogi Bhan. You understand? You both get married tomorrow. Get your blood tested and get going. And next Monday, be in that town and please call. That's how I sent teacher. Many of you might be sitting here with that experience. That's how it used to be. Then I became a little wiser. I said, forget it. Why should I let them go through the rut of time and space? Teacher takes the time, eat it out, and covers the distance and gives the student the chance. The relationship between teacher and student is that of the chisel and the stone. When they meet, there comes a spark. Not a very sweet experience. Teacher is like IRS audit. When you meet a teacher, and have you got a letter sometime you are going to be audited? How you like that letter? But it's a must. You have to go through it. That's a teacher. It's similar when people said, I was meditating and I had such a ecstasy. It's such a lie. When you meditate, the entire garbage of the subconscious start floating. Like a shit floats on the good pool water. Now how come you be having ecstasy when you're floating in a shit pool? And if your mantra is not real, and you can't cut through and clean it out, what you're talking? Making fool of people, telling, oh, I was in ecstasy, oh God, ooh. Meditation is nothing, a subconscious cleansing toilet job. And subconscious is nothing but a mental bathroom. It's got to be cleaned every day and kept it ready and see it flushes, right? So nothing sticks. You are not ready for this lecture, right? You are thinking something very lofty, sweet things. I should come, gives you a few jokes and tells you stories of gods and goddesses. That would have been fine? Yeah? You would have said, wow, Yogiji came and was so nice a man and perfect. He's so sweet. He's a darling. My teacher is a darling. Somebody said, my teacher is a darling. I say, what? I say, your teacher is a Shiva Lingam? He said, no, darling. I said, oh, I heard it wrong. I was joking with this idiot. My teacher is a darling. Can a teacher be a darling? Is there such a thing like teacher is a darling? You know, once I went where? Where I went, Simran? Oh, France, perhaps, where they show me a torture chamber. Where we were? France.
It was in Italy, it was in Florence.
Yeah, some town I do not know. They showed me in the medieval dark ages how they used to stretch people and put them in cage, and the cage have nails and they close down. And a nail will go to the person from the first chakra all the way to up if it doesn't agree to them and all that. Or they tie their hand and, oh God, it's, ooh. And I said, this is a teacher's house. Somehow, the man submits and surrenders. You know, let us put it this way. And that's the job of a teacher, that his future teacher has to create a future teacher. And teacher doesn't have an ego. His future teacher must not have ego, you have to assure it. How you do it, we do not know. Sometimes in just one word, you say, hey, start. I say, okay. And sometimes you say it and say it and say it and you die. It never happens. Maybe next lifetime. You understand? You have to project like a person who takes a stone and sit with a chisel and hammer and start doing it. It is all is in head and in his spirit, and he has to create an elephant out of the wood. He cuts it, he plans it, and you know, all that stuff. You know how they do it? Teacher the same way takes a student and makes him his tomorrow. There's no other relationship. A teacher's-student relationship is a teacher's tomorrow is his very student today. It's not a student has to remain student all his life. The relationship of fulfillment and gratitude is teacher makes a teacher. Teacher doesn't make a student. Student comes, student goes. Student is an inlet and outlet and natural flow. Student comes because student wants to come. Because soul has been promised once, it shall come. It remains or not is not your problem. One will go, 10 will come, doesn't matter. But one who has come has to be served. You have to gamble. Whosoever come, maybe this is it. Try it. Doesn't work out, try again, try again, try again. In your whole life you have to create 1, 2, if you're lucky 3. If you're great 4, 5, 6. Don't bother. Keep on trying. Jap, it's called japa. Repeat, 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 repeat. You know where Guru Nanak chose his disciple? Last thing was that he said, all were sitting, and he already tested out, and he was leaning on Lena for all the reason, because he asked Baba Sri Chand, bring that cup from the mud. Baba Sri Chand stretched his hand and the cup came. He said, here's my Lord. And he said, my son, you can't walk into the mud of the others, how can you save them? Your spiritual powers are yours, it's not with anybody. Guru is that who uses no extraordinary power than that of an ordinary human. Baba Sri Chand knew he's out. But anyway, then he made Baba Sri Chand as the head of the Udasi Panth for which Guru Nanak was. So that job got out of the way. Then one day he was sitting down and they were all Baba Buddha and everybody else, all the wise people were there. He says, so and so, just go out and see what is the time at night. Somebody said, 3 part is gone, 1 part is left, it's time to get up. Others said, I don't know, it looked like it's a midnight. Others said, when it came to Lena, he said, Lena ji, can you go out and see how the night is? He came in, he said, what is it? He said, Lord, as much you have passed is past, as much remain to pass shall pass by your will. Guru Nanak bowed. Look at a student who made Guru Nanak the joint bow. That's the power of the student. When his teacher bows to him. He says, Lena, you are a part of me now, you're Angat, you're a Guru, and it's all yours. A lifetime. A lot of siddhas, yogis, and saints came to see Guru Angad. Guru Angad was playing with children, wrestling outside in the field. They came, he said, this can't be a guru. What are you talking about? Huh? Look at him, he's with the kids like a kid. He's playing, he's wrestling, he's all clothes are with dirt and doesn't seem right. Their head mahant said, come on one side, let me talk to you guys. He said, what? He said, did you knew Guru Nanak? They said, yeah. How much you like him? Oh, he was great. He was, we had an audience with him, it was great. He said, this man Guru Nanak bowed to. Just wait, let him come, he will talk to you. So Guru Angad kept playing with the kids. When all that finished, he went in and sat down and he said, please come in and sit down. They all sat down. He said, you have come to meet me? He said, yes, you are. He said, you have come as if with a prejudgment? He said, what do you mean, sir? He said, well, I was doing my job to teach wrestling and physical building of the kids, and you started judging me that I'm no good. This is the way to come and meet somebody with a pre-prejudiced mind and negative thoughts and etc., etc. They knew to that very minute. They lost the game. Teacher is a personified living help, compassionate, caring, kind, but firm. There's three qualities of a teacher. Firm, firm, firm. Firm. Very firm. Very firm. He never forgets, never forgives, but very caring, very compassionate, very kind, very firm. Because it's nothing, it's just a teacher today has no future as tomorrow if he does not create better than him. I never told Shakti what to do. She's right in the class somewhere, is she? Yeah, okay. I thought she might have left after introducing me. No, I never told her anything. So one day we were eating pancakes. So they gave 2 eggs to a pancake, you remember? So I told the guy, as I put my eggs on her pancakes and bring my without it. Those are good old days when I could eat pancake and maple syrup. Now if I think of that, they'll take away a plate from me. But anyway, Shakti never ate an egg thereafter. Shakti is one student of mine whom I never told what to do. She learned it herself. My miserable time with her was when she will not listen to my request and will chant loud as I taught her the mantra, and the neighbors called police all the time. Finally, I thought we should buy a house where she can be the owner and she can be herself. So she had not to shift the house and she had not go anywhere. And look at that Shakti, the Osu, not Oshu, Osu. She reached a status of a divine mother. And she is very divine. Time shall record it, and elements shall serve it. Not that she's a small stature now and she's old and she's this. You can have 300 difficulties and 5,000 defects in her. She's the only one person, if I even give an order in my good conscience, she says no. And that means no. I thought she never yells at me. She will never yell at me. But one day I was doing something, she did yell at me. It was nice. It was very recent. But she was very polite. She said, my lord, you can't do it. You understand that? I said, yeah, I do. But I'm doing it anyway, but it's all right. Is it not what you are? It is what you can do for somebody. So teacher is a forklift to lift the consciousness and brighten the soul and brighten the day of another person. These are not ideal things I am talking. I'm talking of daily normal behavior. Your touch, your presence, and your intention must work for the greatness and the goodness of the other person. Because you must understand what another person is. Other person is your future teacher. Every student is your future teacher. There was no place of ego. He's your best amigo. Financially, in Kundalini Yoga is the very same thing. You don't teach free. You take no obligation. Itarashtam tatargashtam. Empty hand comes, empty hand goes. Pay in front. Don't pay, no teaching. And when my position was, then there were people never had the money. I used to collect money myself and cash it and throw it out. And they say, we don't have money, we can't come to your class. I said, go pick it outside. Come and pay at the door, come in. But principle cannot be sacrificed. We can initiate a student. If that is so dumb and idiot, needs the initiation to start, why you want to start with it? What for? A person doesn't have that much self-sense that he can start with faith and confidence and wants to learn. You initiate to start him? You don't. There's no bondage in Kundalini Yoga. It's a bondage of a soul and merger of self. And student has to do it. Teacher has no obligation. Teacher has only one obligation. He and she, that's a teacher, has to teach. Not preach. We are not preachers. Financially, there are two ways to do it. You earn it, or let it come to you. Teacher has tons of opportunities. His words are effective, people love him, they gift him, they bring him the news, they tell him what to do. Everything comes. Well, if you like to hustle, try it. It never works, but you can try it. When I came, I never knew anybody, and I never wrote anybody a letter either. Come and study with me. Never happened. Did you have anybody else that letter? How you come to know me? How I come to know you? That is the unknown, that's God. We shall meet always by the will of God and depart by our own curse. Remember that word. My teacher told me. Repeat it, what I said. By the will of God and shall depart by our own curse. I remember physically I had departed from my teacher many, many years. Today he is more dear to me than he was then when I was actually with him. Personal situation between a teacher and student is that you are very, very personal to a student, but you never have a different personality the pain of the student, the tragedy of the student, the lies of the student are all yours. You shall not exploit it. You don't participate, that's your right. Some people are very idiot. They don't listen to you. That's okay. But you will not participate to exploit it. Your lineage with the matter of trust, faith, identity, individuality, and lineages, you have reality and royalty at the same time as a teacher. If you do not gear up to it in your mind, then please don't teach at that moment. Tell somebody to come later. You understand? Do not barter your sovereignty for worldly values. Do not. You will have it all. You will have it? Now you can ask me questions and I'll answer you. Yeah. There's a microphone there. If I can be your secretary.
I don't.
Sir.
Sir,
Hmm.
excuse me. I do not understand the part about being personal.
Sir, it is not clear to me. Negative words you don't use.
Okay.
Sir, it is not clear to me. Go ahead.
About being very personal to a student, but never having different personality. That part was not clear to me.
When you become personal to a student, you feel the pain, the grogginess, the darkness, all that is personal feeling. You become one. But you do not advise from your personality, you advise from infinity.
From the teachings, in other words, or?
Teachings are very clean. Teachings tell you on every step of the way what you have to say. So you lean on your teaching knowledge, then on your personal knowledge.
Thank you.
You share personal experience. Say, I did this. When I was in this happened to me, I did this. And I got out of it. Perhaps it can work for you. There's no harm in sharing a personal experience. And there's no harm in telling what the teachings at the moment are applicable. But do not give personal ideas to a person who's in trouble. Because his idea of trouble is his idea of trouble. It is not your trouble. You are supposed to get that person out of trouble with the teaching, because you are there in the personality of a teacher, not a person. Is that clear? Good. Not clear yet, but maybe some other question will clear it. Yep.
Sir, I've had teachers at the yoga center come to me and say that on days when they're teaching and they haven't done a perfect sadhana, they feel like they're hypocritical.
They
how
must
would you?
they must be from Judo-Christian background. Guilt has no place in Kundalini Yoga. They want to share something with you. I am horrible, I'm miserable, I do not teach any. You tell them, God has already blessed you. Have you finished teaching? Yeah. Okay, next day. That's it. Guilt has no place in Kundalini Yoga. Guilt and sin does not exist. It happens. That cursed moment has come, hit us. You know, how many of you have played hockey, football, volleyball, tennis, something, some game? Yeah? If a ball hits you, you stop? You keep playing. That's it. If the other team scores the goal, you give up? Well, that's it. Some days are good days, some days are bad days, some days are worse days, some days are right days, some days are wrong days. But they're all days. Face the worst, hope the best. And don't be a cartoon, don't worry about it. When you say Om Namo Gurudev Namo, and you sit in that essence, it will flow through you. We are all vehicles of the teachings. There's nothing special. Everybody can teach, and everybody can learn. That's the law of nature. At that moment, at this moment, I am the teacher, and you are the student. Next moment, somebody else would have been teacher, and somebody else would have been student. It is longitude and latitude. Repeat after me, it is longitude and latitude, but one who takes the altitude and attitude is the teacher. That's the difference. You are coming here to learn. You know, I am answerable to you. There's a very serious danger. If I were sitting back home, you could not ask me the question. You understand? You think when you teach, you're a big ego. Why? These people are learning from me. No. These people also have the right to see through you. You are running a greater risk. In teacher and student, things are openly exposed. Then test is, who wins? Test is, who wins? Wins is that who has the altitude and attitude of a victory. It's called Fateh. Essence of Fateh is teacher never let go. He must win because he has the moral, spiritual, physical obligation to teach to win. And student his tomorrow. And the visit to planet Earth of the soul is to win, not to lose. And we can't put ourselves on a sale, 75% off, 80% off, 95% off, 99.9 off. Please take me. You don't have to impress Dan the whole thing. What do you lose? If you are a teacher, it will all come. There sit the man, people shall mark the way. Teacher cannot hide himself. Teacher cannot save his hide either. You understand? Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next. Come on, you come and ask as many questions you want. This is the moment. After that, you will not have a chance.
Sir, In 1969, you said that the chakras were imaginary. And in 1994, you taught a series of classes that describe the chakras, or at least work with their energy. I wondered if you could just
Chakras are basically first imaginary because this is how you fix them in your body. Everything is a thought. So when we say chakras are imaginary, it's a fact. Chakras are imaginary because you have to imagine them, their location, their working, their knowledge. But it's not something like a wheel grinded there. It is actually a granthi. Granthi called is a knot of nerves, which has a center. And all chakras work through this medulla, that is the spinal column. And all the nerves of the spinal column create a center from the back to the front of the body, and they go crisscross. If you know the anatomy of the body and muscular strength, muscle are crisscross. And that's what chakra are real. But when you meditate on chakras, then they become effectively clear and working. Otherwise, they remain imaginary, untouched, and they are no good to you. Now, stand there and I show you something right now. Make a statement on the mic. Make any statement.
I'm standing here.
For which chakra you said?
Fifth?
From your ass, first chakra.
Okay.
Now listen to this where standing. I am standing here is first chakra, that's asshole. If you had a second chakra, you would have said, I am here asking a question. That is second chakra, that would have creativity. Third chakra would have a balance. You said, I am here among all. Heart chakra would have said, I am so pleased to be here, I am here. Fifth chakra said, I am here and I am very glad that I have the opportunity to have dialogue with you and a question. Sixth chakra would have said, God is God's grace and is very lovely and affectionate. I can learn something today, I am here. And the seventh chakra has, I feel very blessed with the grace of God that I am here. Eighth chakra would have said, is the most fortunate, luckiest day of my life, I have come here. Have I counted them correct?
Thank you, sir.
It's the projection, the language which shows from which chakra you are speaking. And teacher should know always from where the student is coming from. You can say somebody, I love you, right? You can say, I love you. Hey, I think I love you. And then you put your tongue out and say, I love you, you know. All that means different. You know what I'm saying? Words are the same. For which chakra you are hitting. Life is like a, body is like a bow, and language is like an arrow. And from where you are aiming, that's your chakra. Go ahead next. Yeah.
Sir, is there a meditation that can be done to rebalance after a tornado?
Oh, when thing comes up, then takes you up there, up in the air? That round thing? How many tornadoes come in your lifetime, in your mind? How you balance that? if the perfection of mantra is a Ashtang, that is Gobinde Mukande Udhare Apare Hariyam Kariyam Niname Akame, if this mantra is perfect, all element can be controlled. And there's no strong prayer than Har Hare Hari Vah He Guru, 6 sounds. Either there are 8 sounds or 6 sounds. Or you have to have a basic sound, Ikankar Satnam. That's the sound. That comes from unison sound. I tell you what, somewhere, it's a true story, somewhere a tornado hit on that thing. I can't even speak the name of that guy. It happened. So it was passing through their whole city. Whole city. So it took upon itself to go through their home. You understand? And normally in that situation, house should have totally eliminated. And they all got into that little cell they had. What do they call it? Cellar? Cellar. They got into a cellar. And it is a fact, when the tornado hit, it drew away the earth many, many feet. Took everything with it. But when it came to hit their house, the house collapsed over it. They were right under it. Later on, the fire brigade came and dig them all out in one piece. But everybody in the line was gone. At some places, couple feet deep. And they could have gone too. They could have been sucked out of that cellar. They sat with all together, with hands together, and they chanted with one voice. Because all forces cannot stand before the force of God, and that is mantra, whatever you have. That shield cannot be broken. When a man with consciousness shield himself or herself with a mantra, there's no power in God to penetrate through it but to stop and help. Because instead of that force of anger, destruction of justice becomes the saving grace. They are very lucky now because the relief gave them to rebuild the house and they have a nice new home. They were thinking to metal it down and rebuild it anyway. Nature did it for them. What is that power? An ocean hits, a tsunami hits, or something hits you. There are a lot of things which hit you in life. Your friends hit you. Enemies can't hit you. Remember this. Because the enemy is enemy, you know the enemy. It's the friend you never know and will hit you. It's nothing less than earthquake. You don't believe, oh, that person? And next minute you come out of it. How? By meditative mantra, by your applied mantra. What is a mantra? It's a mental projection of positiveness into the negativity which is totally hurting you. You understand? Disease, calamities, all phenomena. And if nothing works, then there's a one line which works. Repeat after me. Ketya, that's my line on which I have lived my 67 years. Ketya, dukh, bhukh, sadmar, ebi, dat, teri, data. That's all I know. My total knowledge is this. I don't know anything more than that. And I don't believe anything more than this exists. But that's my personal thing. After studying and reading and knowing and experiencing and whatever you call it. That's one line I have come to understand. And I'm very grateful to God and to myself that I have learned that line. I'm grateful to Nanak, he said that line. I'm very fortunate I picked that line. It's my pleasure, my joy, my bliss. And after that line, I think nothing matters. You know what that line means? Somebody can translate it? This line is of that body of Japji. If you have written by the will of God, you will be a pauper, you will be a mega multimillionaire if you recite that. So this is one line out of the whole. I don't read the whole, I just read that one line. Anybody knows the translation of it? Go ahead, translate it.
Of all things, the sadness, the total hunger, all bad things, all the hurt and pain, all of this is your gift, O great giver.
Correct. This you must have read the translation. Ketya. Ketya means may be, as many may be, unlimited. Ketya, which has no limit. Ketya, dukh. Dukh means discomfort, disease, calamity, tragedy, betrayal. Call it anything. Anything which discomforts you is called dukh. Ketya, dukh. Bhuk. Bhuk means hunger. Any type of hunger. Sexual, sensual, physical, mental, spiritual, fantasy, imaginative, real, whatever. Ketya, dukh, bhuk, sadmar, if it's multiply into 100,000 times. God, that is thy blessing. Thank you remembering me and feeling me that I deserved it. In other words, God, screw you, I'm here. Simple, I'm just translating in a human language which you understand better. You know, that's true. It means, go ahead. I'm here. You wanted me to suffer, thank you. At least you remembered me. If you couldn't remember me at a good time and giving people good time, at least you remember me at a bad time. Thank you. You know how he feels when you do this to him? Then Guru says, Uste chaugan kare nihal. Then God come into multiply it in fourth dimension to cover that person. It's not that my life is full of joy and pleasure and happiness. It's a very, absolutely very painful life, full of treachery. And I always say when you want to make my real picture or painting, take this, what they call them? Huh? Peanut shells. And a peanut shell is like a scab. Make it with them. That's how much I have been loved and liked and appreciated. But it's fine. At least somebody found me worthy of betraying. And somebody told me I'm a liar or a con man or a charlatan or a piece of shit or you idiot Indian come here, think American, know nothing. Or that book which says he's the darkest Indian ever came to this continent. We collected tons of money to go and bring people to Christianity. He stole our children here and took our money with it. I don't know what they're talking, but they must be very much hurt. I pray for them. Proselytization is not the way of Kundalini Yoga. Neither you do it, nor you convert. is the consciousness of the person that rises to that grace. I can't walk with a turban being absolutely under any influence. I have to crown my head every morning and have to come for the day. I have to be positive. I may be sick inside, my stomach crawling, my nerves shattering, I may be shaking, I may be thinking the roof is going to fall on me, but still I shall deliver the best. Because I'm delivering the teachings, not me. I'm not part of it. I'm not sharing me, I'm sharing the teaching. The postman delivers the letter. You read it or not, your responsibility, not the postman's. If a dog barks at the postman, or the house doesn't open the door, but he still delivers it. Some people come and put it in the mailbox, some people never pick up their letter at all. Doesn't matter. My personal weaknesses are my personal weakness, and my personal strength is my personal strength. So long God has given me breath of life, I'll carry the teaching and deliver them as they are. Shall never add or subtract anything whatsoever. And I'm grateful that I have become that vehicle. If that helps anybody, life is great. If it doesn't, it's up to that person. You have become serious. No, there's nothing serious in it. That's what life is. You don't teach to be a popular, and you don't teach to be rude, and you don't teach to be great, you don't teach to be small. You just teach to teach. And just remember, when you teach to teach, the sight, the touch, your presence will cure the whole atmosphere. This all will be done. I remember my own personal story. Somebody wanted to take my picture, and they wanted to give into a Time magazine to blow it over. And I told them, I'm not going to give you a picture. They offered money, and they did it. I said, I'm not going to participate. You're going to do an ugly article, and I know it, and I'm not going to participate. So the guy went on tree with a long-range camera to take picture, broke his leg, came down with the camera, broke his head, went to hospital. I went to see him there. I said, friend, I told you not to take my picture. You didn't listen to me. Remember now? So, what is the idea? If somebody abuse you, you abuse him back. If somebody abuse you, just smile. When the hand of God will abuse him, that will be very multiple. Trust in God we dwell. Repeat it. If you can remember this line, there's two things. Keep up, and in God we dwell. You don't need anything. Everything will come to you. God, there's nothing to worry about. But you have to have this affirmation every breath of life. In God I dwell. This Ek Onkar means, exactly Ek Onkar means, in God I dwell. Keep up means Satnam, true is my identity. I have brought in America only one word, keep up. Everything is the explanation of keeping up. Everything is a technology of keeping up. Everything is methodology of keeping up. Everything is to build you and give you the chance to keep up. Keep up, you shall be kept up. is actually a mirage. If you have mind to keep up, nothing can put you down. Not a thing. Things will disappear. Everything will become shadow when you say, I'll keep up. And that's our history. We've cut limb by limb, we were boiled alive in the parts we were put on hot plates, we were shredded, what have not happened to us? We kept going. Saints march on. What is that song? I love that song when you sing. Huh? And then shadows goes away. There's nothing more to say. The God works his... I don't want to say that. I spare him most of the time these days. One day I was talking to God and I said, you are the biggest idiot. He said, I'm the biggest wise too. I said, let's not get into discussion. The question is why you made mankind and give them all the chances to fault. He says, so they can rise. Look at it, people don't fault what you can teach. You would have been handicapped. Have mercy on yourself. You say, okay, I got the answer. Every fault is to rise. Every wrong is to be right. Every loss is to gain. Life is only in one form, victory. When Jupiter and Saturn joins, victory is sure. You know these two fingers? The Jupiter and the Saturn, when they join, this V sign is victory. Therefore, don't try to be vicious to yourself. You shall win. Keep up. Nobody can take away from you your victory. Nobody can. Even God can, because He's pre-promised. It's a pre-done agreement. He created us. We never wrote an application. Have you written an application to Him? Almighty God, please, sir, create me as a woman with 36 relationships and 46 loves and 62 boyfriends and 72 husbands. Have you done that? No, you never did it. You said, He said, go and be and come to me as victorious. That's all. And what is the bad thing about it? You wish from your children, you wish from your friends. So is that Soi pinde jo birmande? What is in you is all in the heavens. There's no difference. There's no difference. One day I was telling somebody, he said, well, you are getting sick now. I said, why not? He's 67 years old, his body is a body of a great athlete, it will break one way or the other. It got to be dropped, but it's difficult to drop because it's a very muscled body. It has years and years of exercise, self-control, nerve control, chakras, this and that, what you have not done. So certain things have to happen and something has to falter apart. If they want to mend that, something else side effect will not be right. So in other words, it's time to go. Simple thing. Job, so binsa, whoso is born shall die. There's no difficulty. But sometimes it takes time. You break limb by limb. It's weird. I was very happy when my gray beard was absolutely silver white. But I started taking a medicine. My hairs have started becoming black. I don't like it. I was telling today even, I don't like what is happening. This medicine is, this formula we have created, I don't know what effect it will have. I don't want to be 18-year-old back again. Ma came yesterday, I look at her eyes, I said, Ma, And she said, what? I said, I don't want to say it. He said, what? I said, I'm not going to say it. I'll give you 10 drops. You will be my first guinea pig. So gave her 10 drops and gave her 1 ounce and sent her home. This morning she said, where it is? I want more. I said, no, 10 drops. And if you know, I never gave it to her, gave it to her assistant who was very loyal. I said, do not give more than 10 drops. I told her eat banana, she eats 4 dozens of banana. She swallowed them like anything. I said, no, 10 drops and 10 drops. She says, great, we want, what? I said, it's a very costly nonsense, but we are trying to find out what price it will be. But 10 drops, just take this and see what happens. Because I'm sitting and researching, I have my arteries clogged up, I have lost my 1 kidney, I have lost this, that. Why should everybody lose? If one has to die, let them die. Why to go through this procedure? So let's have a formula. So we are coming out with something. And if it works, that's the way it will be. You will die because you have nothing more to live. But I don't like the God's procedure to break your arm, then break your legs, and then arthritis your knees, and what the... He's such a funny guy. First he creates, then he falls in love, and he doesn't know how to drive. Switch off and take the man home. Now, ding-da, ding-da, ding-da. What nonsense is that? Doesn't make sense. Does it make sense? When we have to go, we have to go. Tell us, all right, this is the lease. Like, we rent an apartment, right? And he says, okay, 65 years, no more, no less, that's it. And then he says, 64, switch off. And I love that. Have you seen that movie? What do they call it? It goes where nobody else goes. Star Trek. Beam me up. I think the God should come to senses. This is my appeal. He should beam us down and beam us up. And in between, forget it is no fun. But to him, it is a fun. Whether we, within the time, win or not. When we are not winning, and we don't want to win, and then he start extending. According to all astrologers, everything, my life was 48 years. I'm 67 years old. Doesn't have the time to go back home. I think he has forgotten that switch. The master computer has gone off. God has gone off. I should have gone at 48. Now, body is given for 48 years. Now I'm 67. This is totally injustice. So it is falling apart little by little by little by little. Why not happens is 1, 2, 3, go. I can call you all, say tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, I'm going home. Matter ends, goodbye. But no, he does these funny things. Test you out. It's called last trick of God. He's very clever. First he takes away the eyes at 40. You start wearing big, thick goggles. You don't care. Then he starts giving you a little bit here, little bit here. Then you have Tylenol, no arthritis, no pain. Everything he tells you that time has come to go and get ready and meditate and be with him. And it's time to come home. You try to crisscross it and by having an alternative. Those who have altar have to know alternative. And life is to have an altar. Don't create alternatives. I know, at 48 my eyes were perfect, everything was fine. I was just one piece, right? And then slowly and gradually, it's time to go. There's time to come and time to go, time to be fast and time to be slow. But always there's a boat of life which you have to row to reach the destiny. Good point? I made it up. Any other question you have? Go ahead.
Sir, could you elaborate on this mudra that you've given? Tell us a little bit more about it, maybe.
Yeah. In this, you separate Jupiter, Saturn, Sun and Mercury. This removes normally the conflict in personality. But what is about it is already written and said, read that lecture. What elaboration you want? Everything has been taught, and there's a book, it's a book, blue book. Who made it? That man in Gurjagat. It has 1100 computerized mudras and their details, and you can decodify it, and you have all the knowledge. You don't have to go anywhere. Do you know? You have those books?
Is this the one from Europe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not from Europe, it is from that man who did work hard and put it together.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Almost teachings are there in writing, they are just being compiled now in different ways so that you can have them for reference when you need. Simply you have to have a system where you can see your mouse goes. Now people in the computer is very funny. You take your mouse, it's a mouse age now, it goes. And then you press the button, it's going to. Yesterday I was discussing something, and it was late night, and I called my research and development department. I said, all right, go to that situation. He said, yes, I'm ready now. I'm all right, I'm on it. I said, now put that thing into that and see what is the result. He put it that, I said, read it. He read me like an open book. I don't have to go cross-reference, I don't go to any library, nothing. Happened in just few minutes. Because what I do is, whatever I'm working on, I tell him to research it and put it in his computer. I don't have to do it myself. And whenever I need it, I say, hey, remember I talked to you the other day? I said, well, yeah, I remember. I said, now go. The mouse goes, and mouse finds it out and pulls it out of the hole, and there it is. Learn through the mouse. You know what I'm talking about? Some people don't like mouse, they now like an arrow and something, I don't know, whatever you call it. But in computer, in the age of Aquarius, which you are going to be, you have 4 mega billion unit knowledge as the press of the button. I pray that you should have a nervous strength to hold yourself. Anything else, folks? Actually, this is your time. I don't have to lecture. Oh, yeah, you were sitting quite well. Go ahead.
Sir, I feel a conflict between a spiritual teacher being the pipeline that you talk about for the guidance of the infinite and the spiritual teacher charging for that. Would you comment on that, please?
You pay first and then ask this question, $10 if you want the answer. $10 right now. And I don't want Canadian, I want American. Right here. Thank you. Now go and listen to the answer. Let me count first. Yep, that's correct. Now listen. When you ask and you get, you cause a karma. If you pay first, then there's no karma between you and knowledge. And any knowledge which causes a karma never becomes dharma. That's why when we go to the Guru, we give offering and we bow. And then we learn. You understand that?
I heard it and I understood it. I couldn't repeat it, but I'll buy the tape.
You ask another question, it's just $10 a question, what is wrong with that? It's a deal, it's very cheap, and normally I'll charge higher, and today is a special day. For every $10 you can get an answer. People go to ask that fortune and read tarot card, pay $120. For the question which has duality, you can't pay $10. What is the second question? Go ahead. We must make some money. And third question will be $20. You must understand that. All right, now ask now. What you said? What you said? I will. Go ahead. Stick to it. You know, this is what it is. You have paid for it. Stick to it. You have the freedom to ask now. You understand the essence of it? You paid. You earn the right. Have no formality or duality. Ask, shoot.
Sometimes you hear about spiritual teachers when they're ready to go, just, going up in the ether, and you hear it in the pictures and all that. Is that really possible? And if so, why don't you do it?
I'll ask Fifth Amendment because I did it. It's not a good idea to have occult powers and use it to show and impress students. But once I was a very foolish man, and I earned it, and I tried it, and it was ridiculous. I watched the Prakarma of Golden Temple for 4.5 years to get out of it. I think that was my most rude, inhuman, and terrible time. But I could lift a person right by my sight. I can do which is impossible. But that was very ridiculous. To impress another human, that you are better than him. What more rude than this can be? Make a person better than you, I can understand now. But impress a person you are better than another person, what a rude, low grade that is. You have any idea of that? You understand? So in the Kundalini Yoga, it's a rule of the thumb. Itarashtam tatargashtam. Empty hand you come, empty hand you go. You cannot learn. You have not deserved the right to learn. You come and offer. Offer yourself and offer your fee for the time you are going to use. So there's no obligation. That's why these $20 are good. Oh, here you go. I should have student like you, I'll be rich. All right, now, what is next? You are tough.
A long time ago, in one of the early beads of truth, way back, there was a story, and I'd like to know if it was true or not. And it relates back to what, and I don't know if I remember it right, or if it was really there, or if it was hearsay or whatever, that the reason that you washed the floor of the Golden Temple was that you got the power of the word and you changed like your son into a frog or something like that.
Change what? Huh? Shakti, you are the one. What is that?
Getting changed at the
No, that's it, last 20 bucks. Because Shakti wrote the beads of truth, she should answer it.
The earliest beads of truth were not under my pen. But as I recall the story, it had to do with your power over water. And that was.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not my question. I mean, I'll come-
That was when Yogi Ji was very foolish. I used to do a lot of things. I'm basically a Catholic. I'm willing to confess, Father, I have sinned. No, I actually telling you transliterally, I wanted to see whether all these things in the scripture are true or possible or not. That's what it was. And there are 5 tattvas, and I like water. And I wanted to see, like this time I was coming from Laos, and they said, it's hot, it's a burning hot, what are you doing there? I said, I'll go, it will rain. I said it casually. And we came, it rained. And it will rain. It's not something, and all New Mexico know it will rain. It's not something. Even when a politician said, you must have come back home, I say, yeah, I know it's raining. So that's how people remember you. That's not something you do. It happens. But fact is that at certain stage, when you read in those scriptures, those occult powers, Riddhi, Siddhi, and Non-Riddhi, it's true that you can have. But I went little berserk. I started little using them. And then I realized one day, I was sitting in a holy congregation. This is how truly it happened. And I was meditating, and all music was going and religious ceremony went. But I opened my eyes, relaxed, langar was being served, and all around that place there was a huge rain. But that area was absolutely dry. And an old man came to me, and normally people came to me there to just get them healed, a headache or this or anything, consult for physical ailments after the congregation. And I was sitting there and just with a tree, and I was just very relaxed. And this old man came, and I said, what I can do for you? He said, you are Yogi? I said, yeah. He said, what I can do for you? I thought he has been sent, you might have some physical. He said, I have a question. I didn't charge him money then, I should have. And I said, what is your question? He said, did you see this whole thing is the rain and not here? I said, yeah, I see it. There's no problem. He said, you know, there's a grass that needed the rain. The plants needs the rain. This flower needs the rain. This land needs the rain. I said, what do I have to do with it? You know, there was spiritual gathering here and it didn't rain. He said, I know you. Now, who will compensate for this water? I said, what is the difficulty? I'll tell my men tomorrow to bring the water hose and rain it here, big deal. He looked at me and I said, you don't understand it. I said, what are you saying? He said, you know, when your soul will leave and you have power over water tattva, then your soul has to go through the water. And that half of 84 lakhs of life, half is in water. So you have to go through all those lives to redeem yourself. Are you willing for that? I said, what do you mean? He said, no, rest is up to you to think. I'm not thinking. I'm not going to think for you. Think about it. I say, I will. I didn't like his question and neither like his attitude. I just sat and later on I thought, wait a minute. It's true. And I did wish not that place should rain. I checked myself. I said, it didn't rain. So I asked somebody, I said, there's a very old man, he has this kind of clothes, could you find him out? They searched all around, it was not there. I learned. Then once you have power, you had a habit, you have to break your habit, you're not sometimes humble, and you go crazy, and I was. So God provided me opportunity. They told me you can get posted to Ajmer, Ambala, Amritsar. I chose Amritsar. I went there. And I went with this only one prayer in my heart and my head and my mouth and my being that, hey Guru Ramdas, hey Lord of the Golden Temple, you are Lord of miracles. Forgive me. I shall be in a position never ever to do it again. So they say, if you touch the dust of some fortunate one, you get cleansed. So best thing was not to run after everybody to touch their feet and find the dust. So I was an officer there. So in the evening I'll change my clothes, uniform, I'll come down and clean the floors. I got into that group which does it for 4.5 years. And that is where I got rid of all that stuff. I'm not saying sometime now I don't get the itch. I'm not that perfect, but then I remind myself, 84, and then half of 84 lakhs. Lakhs is 100,000. Lakhs is a? So 84, 100,000 lifetime man goes through to become a human, and half of them lives in water. So with all my greatness, if I use the tattva, I'll go through the life of tattva. No. That's the way to stop it. Otherwise you get an itch really bad. Somebody stupid you want to just show, wait a minute, let me tell you what I can do. That's a doo-doo. See how teacher can make money? Hey, look at the guys, 20, 40, 45, I can't even count, wow. 40, 45, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. How can we? 6. How many are these? Hey, good cheer. Shakti will take it away. Count them. She always does this. This is her job. Save me from income tax. Now you believe me or not, didn't we earn $60? If I can do nothing and earn $60 for this hour, it's quite a therapy, isn't it? I will not see this money. She's going to get on it and it will be all the, what you do is your future and your expenses and all that stuff, but you know, these $60 are mine. Right? All right. Anybody who gets on that speaker and says something which is the ultimate truth will get this money or shall pay exact $60.
The reason I'm here is ego.
Are you sure?
Sure.
The house, those who agree that he is here because of egos, raise your hands. $60. You have been judged.
But it's the truth.
But not a 1% agreed. You agreed? Yes.
Well,
The 1% agreed. Go ahead.
my point here is that if I'm a teacher, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be asking you a question. So if you ask me, what is my truth here, the whole time that I had a question, I didn't ask it because it would be my ego up here.
When you came here, you have no ego, you have fear. You are not differentiating your fear and your ego. That will cost you $120.
I owe it to you.
Come on, let us discuss it, make it, and let me make you understand. Stand there, everybody will learn from it. The essence you came here, that is the highest of all. The essence you didn't ask question was not because of ego. Ego
No.
brought you here.
No, I didn't explain well then. I didn't have a question because if I'm a teacher, I have the answers. I said
No, wait. Every student is a teacher and every teacher is a student. You forgot the basic royal principle. You didn't ask the question, but you didn't want to have the question because you're afraid to ask the question. Make up a question, ask it. You're a teacher.
I'm not a Kundalini Yoga teacher, no.
You may be an ordinary person, doesn't matter. As an ordinary person, you can ask a question. Make it up.
What is the essence of the heart chakra?
Essence of the chakra is give. And give flawlessly as God gives. Anything else?
That'll do.
Thank you. But don't forget $120 you owe me. Anything else? Wow. There comes now our own generation. Wow.
Banda klase bane hoe har akana sake koa.
Read it again.
Banda klase bane hoe har akana sake koa.
What do you want me to tell you?
Money.
That is the truth. Band klasi pane ho, ore aakh na sake kho. The liberation and redemption come by the will of the O Lord. Nobody can say why. It's the ultimate truth. She spoke it, she got it. Now, Shakti, you don't have to account for it. Sure, it will be free. You can ask. You can ask too. You see, this is our second generation. She spoke what she learned, and I said, what do you want? She said, money. She got it. That is the firmness. Go ahead.
Sir, you mentioned earlier about Dharma, and it frequently comes up with teacher training, many people coming in to become teachers who are very interested in the technology and find that it changes their lives, but they are concerned about what they feel is a conflict between Sikhism and 3HO and so forth, and I would
No.
grateful if you could address that.
Dharma is when there's no karma. Karma is action and reaction. Karma is action and reaction. Dharma is where there's no reaction. When a person reaches a stage of no reaction, that is dharma. Sikh dharma is different. Don't mix Sikh dharma with dharma. Sikh dharma is dharma. Sikh dharma is a dharma of those who learn not to react. Because when you react, you take that stage that you cannot be higher. The chance to elevate is lost when you are in reaction. Action has a reaction equal and opposite. There's a third law of force, of Newton's third law of force, or it's a spiritual law of our government. You are acting and reacting, and you are nobody then. But if you are a teacher or you are a human, you have any light or anything, you don't have to react. You have to act, and you have to elevate. Sikh Dharma Sikh means a student. A student who does not react or learn not to react is a Sikh. Sikh Dharma and Dharma don't mix. Buddhism has Dharma too. Islam has its Dharma. I was teaching my kids that day when they were learning Gatka, how the 5 prayers of Islam are 4 great postures, and how they can learn those postures to combat physical unfitness, and how the sutras, the kalma they speak between those postures is just that timing in which they sit in that posture. So their namaz, their prayer is nothing but a yoga with sutra of spirituality, which gives their body that time. And when I gave them that namaz, those sutras, they were hurting so bad. They said, it's very hard. I said, think of Muslim, 1.5 billion. They're supposed to do 5 times a day. If they do 5 times a day, for that much time in which they speak, because how fast you can speak or slow you speak, but there is some time graduation in which you speak and you are in that postures. And you 30 days you don't eat. You are cleansed. So it's spiritual. Like in Hindu Dharma, if you do not eat on 11th day, you do not eat on full moon, you do not on when there's no moon, and you do not eat on Tuesday or Monday, take 1 day in a week. You don't eat, you will never go sick. It works. Because on 11th day, the glandular system is very fast. On full moon, it's horribly fast. In no moon, it's horribly slow. Don't eat. And 1 day, you give digestive system rest. You take lemon juice with no sugar. And it balances the body. Now, according to Dharma, Hindu Dharma, it is a must. That doesn't mean that it's not a Dharma. For those who believe in it, it's a Dharma. So we cannot mix one thing with the other. Kundalini Yoga is mean to uncoil the spring of this essence of self to the level of the highest self. It's a science. It has nothing to do with this or that. That's why Thiriacho is not a religion. It may be that majority of the people who practice that belongs to a religion, but that doesn't mean a Jew cannot participate, or a Muslim cannot participate, or a Buddhist cannot participate, or a Hindu cannot participate, or a Christian cannot participate.
We do draw so heavily on the Sikh tradition of the mantras that we use,
Because they are right mantras, not that sacred tradition. They happen to be available. God and me and God are one are not anywhere, but it works. It is a strong mantra. The sound is correct. We use it. I am thine in mind myself. I'm Mantatrika. I can make up the sound current. That doesn't mean that it has to be only in Gurumukhi and in this. So I draw it wherever I can. Why not?
Thank you.
And those mantras, just mantra which are correct. There are tons of mantras. I only use which I know will be very elementary and will work. Satisfied? Done? Okay. Thank you. Do we have any question? Go ahead, go ahead. Don't waste time. It's time to go.
Okay, kind sir.
How much is this? Go ahead.
Yes, kind sir. Well, I'm standing here among everyone and very grateful, and I can remember.
It is not the question, it's the preface.
Okay.
Can you ask the question, please?
Yes. What would be the ultimate priority to make one's way through life?
Ultimate priority to make one way through life. In a layman languages, do not let down anybody, do not participate in the let down on anybody, and do not let down yourself. That is the ultimate. In a spiritual language, you are not you, don't become you. I am not I am not going to become I. Arana no karma. Follow the dharma. Dharma has no reaction because you lean and lie on ultimate truth. Are you satisfied or not? Do you have another question? Yeah. No, it's not money. That was just a game. That we played. Those fortunate moments never come back.
How do you get off track?
Because you do not look forward.
But I know how precious life
It's
is
a one
now.
life is those who live in past will never have future. And when you don't look into the future, you always go off track.
Why?
And you think you are here because this is here. You are here by the will of the Creator. And you have to be creative for your tomorrow. And you live by here by the strength of your ego, not by the strength of your dharma. If you live by the strength of dharma, everything will come to you.
But when you don't want to be here, like if you get in that
Don't mount
space.
me, ma, reason, logic, reason, cross-examination, I, my, you, they, thou. Where there's I, there's no thou. Where is the thou, there's no I, period. Those who live on thou have no I. Those who have I have no thou. It's a very straight. How you go off, how you go on. Because you have empathy, sympathy, drama. I have somebody here who plays drama. I have somebody there who plays drama. There's a drama. Drama is a natak. Natak, you go for a moment. Tak means for that moment. You go before a movie. You take your Coca-Cola, you take your popcorn, and horses runs, and guns fired, and cannons fired, and ships drowned, and all that. After an hour and a half, there's damn nothing. When you have all the importance, I have seen people in a movie crying. I don't know what happened to them. And sometimes they say, it's like arrow has come right into the heart. So Maya has a situation, it has amalgamation, it totally dislodges your identity and totally wipes your reality and takes you with the flow, and you go off track many million times.
Then you're creating karma. Then you create karma. How do you get out of that?
Why you get out of? There's so many lifetimes. Don't you know it's counted? Then born again and again and again and again and again. One day, perhaps, you will learn the hard way. There's nothing wrong not to accomplish anything in life. What's wrong about that?
What if you don't want to do that? What if you want to?
Well, one side you want it, you want to have a cake and eat it too, that's totally ridiculous. There's no I. When you say I don't want it, I want it, neither I want it means anything, neither I don't want it mean anything. There's a discipline. You follow the discipline, and it will, it is a boat. Discipline is like a boat. It will carry you across. If you don't want to follow the discipline, then jump into the water and swim. See, you make it.
Thank you.
There is no personal fear in this. If you don't make it, it's okay. Next time.
Sir, in the future, is there going to be Sikh Dharma? Is there going to be Buddhist? Are there going to be Christians? There's so much integration of mass communications and more global integration, and I'm wondering, is this going to happen with religions?
Why not? Why not? Changes are inevitable. Couple hundred years ago, Bible said the earth is flat. Now it doesn't say it. Change happened.
That will be a long time down the road?
We do not know. I think this is a cusp period. The age of Aquarius is the age of knowledge. Everybody will know everything. There's nothing will be, no hidden agenda. How many people can go and see what happened is our Congress in the span, what they call that thing? C-SPAN? And see who's yelling, who's saying, who's talking. My God, look at these guys. You look like kids are in the house going nuts. But it's there. It's on C-SPAN. You see your representative talking and somebody telling, shut up. He says, you shut up. It's fun. It never used to happen before. Now it happens. And tomorrow, you watch will be a TV and you're going to say, what happened C-SPAN? I want C-SPAN and number 4. This is going on. You know, it's going to be 4 megabillion unit information is not a small thing. And if we do not have very perfect practice of Kundalini Yoga and have an absolute self-admiration to control it, our nervous system won't have a chance. We'll be depressed all the time. I didn't teach this 25 years because I was not in a position to earn money. I could earn money many ways. I still have businesses. I earn my own private money. I'm not depending on this. Never have, never will. Earn my own buck.
Sir, when I first started to learn Kundalini Yoga and teach it, I was told to teach according to the sets as you have given them.
Mm-hmm.
About 5-6 years ago, at the old Yoga Center on La Cienega in Los Angeles, you gave a talk to the teachers about using our intuition in applying different orders to those sets. Since then, there's been a lot of controversy.
I have every right to test the idiots. I am a Mahan Tantric and a master. I'll make any statement to test it out, how far you can stretch it. Never trust me. Stand by the teachings, not by me. I do it all the time, and a lot of people are very mad at me because of this, and I do it all the time, and I'll have to continue doing it. Didn't I tell you the story first, how Angad got to be Guru? Nanak said, how much is the night past? He said, Lord, as you have passed it, as you will pass it. And don't you see me? When people ask me a question, I say, I don't know. I don't have to prove myself.
Okay, thank you.
Teachings are teaching. Teachings have no personality in it. I never added it, you should not add it. And nobody should add it. It's a golden chain. My only prayer will be that you can perfect what it is and go with it. It's a funny thing. It is 3,000 years experimented path. Not going to stop. Putting our little niche here, little niche here. Why want to put our finger and lose our nail? Our ego is not satisfied. We want to add something or subtract something. I convince students. I have said so many things, you will be surprised if you read them. Because you must understand, I have no heir to me. I am looking for one. I have a right to find one. That's my right. Crown of spirituality is bestowed, is not conquered. Is that clear?
Sir, is there one thing that we can give to our children to have them benefit from the teachings?
One thing,
Or maybe one important thing?
if a person can, there are 3 lines in your life you must learn. Sadhana, that's what you can do your children. Aradhana, the way it is. And Prabhupati, you will become the Lord Master of God. If these 3 lines are not understood, spoken a million of times.
Sadhana, Aradhana, and...
Prabhupati. Beyond that, you don't have to read a book. Sadhana is sadhana. By doing sadhana, Aradhana means in the discipline of it. When a sadhana is done by individual, it becomes Aradhana. And when Aradhana completes, you become Prabhu, means God. Pati means the Lord. You become Lord of God. What more egomaniac statement can be made? It's made by the rishis, not by me. I just repeat it all the time. As he said a question, since the controversy, use your intuition. I'll say him and teach Kundalini as you want and go berserk. But don't you also hear when I say I never change a word? Right. Am I not enough ego that I can change it? No, I'm not enough ego. I will not change it. My all powers vested in me because I am not me. If I'm not me, how can I change it? Hallelujah. Go ahead.
Sir, I was wondering if you could speak about fearlessness.
Hmm?
I was wondering if you could speak about fearlessness.
Fear is a sentimental self. It comes with the glandular system. Fears come from lack of self-confidence, and psychologically, as a PhD of psychology, I can talk so many things. But basically fear is when you don't trust in God. When thou is there, there's no fear. When thou is not there, there's nothing but fear. So because among us we relate to God and we say in our affirmation, in God I dwell, question of fear will not solve the problem. How you can solve the problem?
Well, some people say it protects us to some extent.
Protects us from what?
As an instinctive maneuver to prevent something.
Fear protect us? Mm-hmm. It kills us. What kills us inside? What is the use of protecting? Fear is a killer inside.
So why do we have it?
We have it because we don't relate to God. We don't relate to our Creator. You have come here by a permit? No. You have come here by a certain will. If that will created your little will to keep on knowing that will, personal will is to know the greater will. Let's not caught God. When I was teaching in UCLA, they say you can't use word God. I started using word Ishit. They said, what do you mean by this word Ishit? I said, I made it up. He said, what it means? I say, Ishi and it. I put them 3 together, so it's Ishit. So I never used the word God after that. I said, use word Ishit. And they said, look like a shit. I said, you are like a shit. That's why you forced me to do that. They said, no, you can use God. I said, fine, I'll use God. Otherwise, I'll use Ishit. Choose anybody you like. We have fear. I have fear. I am very afraid. For what? What can happen to me? One who created me shall protect me. That's my essence, that's my affirmation. I said ek omkar, that's it. Jab daant na jeete doodh diyo, jab daant diye to anna na dega. When he gave you birth, he gave you milk and a nurse and a home and catering. And now he gave you teeth, he's not going to give you food.
So it's trust, is that right?
Without trust, everything is a bust.
Thank you.
In God we trust, that's the opening line on a money dollar bill. Doesn't say that? That attracted me from Canada to come here. I said, what a beautiful currency. In God we trust. Wow, let's go. See, I didn't know what I'm getting into, but it attracted me quite a bit. It's a time, I think, to go. This is what it is. Looks like everybody is shouldering itchy time. It's going to be 7 o'clock. I think we don't have a room this for a long time. So rest, we'll meet somewhere, sometime in life. Tomorrow we'll meet. And thanks for being here. Blessed Self, give me beauty, bounty, and bliss. Give me the path and fulfillment, satisfaction and power to serve. Make me compassionate, caring, and kind to myself and to all what I know and I feel and understand. May this day the path on which we, thy will, who have come here to progress and process ourselves, give us the forgiveness if we forgot the truth. Guide us on the path so we make it. In thy faith and trust, and with thy will and thy energy, we have been brought here under this time and space, under this roof. Give us the strength to prove ourselves for the beautiful tomorrow, that we can be teacher in thy name, in thy identity, in thy truth, in thy teachings, to serve the mankind, our generations, mankind in all, big and small. Give us the faith to go through all changes with the firmness of the truth which you are, and give us the trust that with every limb and being and molecule of our body, it is you who play and it is you who exist. In that existence, we ask thee at this moment, with thy pranic power, to lead us to the path of joy, happiness, fulfillment, and prosperity. We can serve in thy name. Satnam. Thank you very much.